Hey guys, Sableye here, and welcome back to Trash or Treasure. And we're gonna finish off the Naganadel Trash or Treasure today. Probably jump into two, maybe three battles if there's time. Most likely two. And without further ado, guys, let's get into things here, assuming we can find a battle. But basically, I was gonna I had plans for a Christmas special over the holiday season. Unfortunately, I never did get around to recording that, so we're back with Naganadel. But hopefully, everybody had a great holiday season and is looking forward to 2021. But without talking too much about that, let's get into this game. We got a really interesting team here with the Garchomp and the Clefairy. So, Clefairy Garchomp followed up by the Rotom Heat, the Celesteela, the Rillaboom, and the Lapras here. So, I'd imagine he wants to be maxing this Lapras. That would be my guess. Like, I guess you could max Garchomp against me, but I feel like Lapras, in his eyes, just puts in mad work versus me outside of this Urshifu that I have here. So Urshifu 100% going to be making an appearance. I do worry a little bit about the Celesteela, so I'm definitely bringing Rotom. Naganadel, I could technically make a case for it. Like, realistically, it does put in a good chunk of work outside of that Lapras. It's just a matter of that Lapras that scares me right now. Like, I'd almost rather go Clops, Glacier, Urshifu, Rotom. Just seems a little bit more stable, I guess you could call it. So I think I'm actually going to go Clops, Glacier, Rotom, Usher. And we're going to rock with this. In a best of 3, maybe I bring Naganadel here, to be perfectly honest, because Naganadel does take out the Garchomp. It does a really good job versus that, if it can get Fire Off attack first. You obviously have the Celesteela that you can blow up with Max Flare. Obviously it might not kill, but it's going to do big damage. You break through the Clefairy as well with the Max Ooze. So there's a reasoning to bring Naganadel here, which, I mean, it's something, but the thing is with this Clefairy here, even if I go for the Ooze and kill the Clefairy, I just get Resonance and I die, and I figured that was less beneficial for me. So we're going to go for the Trick Room here. I don't see a reason not to set that up. And I am just going to go straight for the Steel Spike into this Clef. I feel like they're going to max immediately with their Lapras as well. Most Lapras players tend to do that, especially in best of 1. I know in best of 3, you can kind of not max Lapras in a game, you have other maxers as well. But in best of 1, they should be maxing Lapras, and they're actually going to hard switch Lapras. So, completely ignore my entire point. Everything I just said to you guys was a complete lie, and I do apologize. But we are still maxing our Glacier, so not everything was a lie. But, I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess the switch makes sense because Rotom completely walls Glacier, for the most part. But, if this picks off Clef, if it's not 252 bold, which most are, or 252 relaxed, depending on what they want to do with their speed. Most are pretty bulky that way. He's actually going to protect, so that's a really good play from them. I do like seeing a good play there. I'm going to have to respect that, but I mean, honestly, I think I got caught up in the fact that, hey, he's -1 here, so, not -1, he's going to have Lapras, he's going to want to max it, get the Veil up, and that's kind of what I ran with the entire time. So we do get the Trick Room up, which isn't horrible. It's not bad for us to have because, I mean, he still is going to have a tough time to break through Glacier here. I really do want to... The thing is, I want to Haze. Because if I don't Haze... because otherwise I'm getting rid of my Steel Spike boost. But I guess I don't need them because they're special anyway. They're physical anyways. He's actually going to Ally Switch, which is... Ally Switch Clefairy, which is very, very annoying because, like, I don't know. I was just expecting to follow me there. And then follow me, I actually get a knockout. Here, on the other hand, I get no knockout, and Rotom eats this basically for breakfast. Like, this is an afternoon snack. Yeah, that does nothing. So Rotom's going to take that every day of the week, and probably go for a Nasty Plot now. I would imagine you're going for a Nasty Plot here. Rotom's actually going to click Will-O-Wisp. That's 10 times worse than Nasty Plot. Because if he plots, I can haze it away, but I cannot heal this burn now. So, very frustrating, I'm going to be completely honest here. I definitely want to get the Nightshade onto Rotom, because if I can get a Nightshade into the Rotom, I can potentially put it in range for Urshifu. And I'm actually going to Quake, I think, just to give myself some longevity on the field here. Because I'm not picking up a knockout anymore. So I might as well boost my special defense and stay on the field a little longer. Yeah, perfect. I mean, I was never picking up the knockout even if he didn't protect with the Steel Spike. So we'll take that every day of the week. Nightshade coming off into Clops here. My opponent has done a very, very good job of stalling out my Dynamax as I drop a Max Quake here. So, I mean, it's not going to do much. But, not the end of the world, I don't think. We still have Heavy Slam into this Clefairy next turn for big damage if we need it. And I feel like once I get rid of the Clefairy, I can actually play around his team fairly well. And he's just going to actually drop a Thunderbolt, so no Nasty Plot, which makes perfect sense because he is a Rotom that has Will-O-Wisp. And I guess if you drop Protect, I guess you could drop Protect, but I feel like Rotom really does need protecting this meta. So I'm really tempted to call an Ally Switch again. I Nightshade that, and I think I am going to Heavy Slam. I mean, I know it's not going to do a whole lot to Rotom if they Ally Switch, but this way at least I'm spreading my damage, and if he doesn't Ally Switch, I still get a Heavy Slam off into the cleft. So, perfect. I'm assuming we're just going to see a big Overheat coming out from my opponent. That would be my guess, is just an Overheat now, but we get a Nightshade off. That actually does a good chunk of damage. We're going to see a Citrus Berry. And this is kind of a game now, guys, where I'm kind of just, I don't want to say backtracking, but trying to just recover from that poor initial turns. And we do get the kill on Clef there, which is going to give us a nice killing nay. So we are back to at least not completely useless, assuming we can live this Overheat here. We are AV. Yeah, let's go. We are AV, we are +1, so even with the Helping Hand, it wasn't enough. And now this Rotom's special attack is -2 as well. And I believe there's one more turn of room, meaning at least I get something off with this horse before I die. Yeah, and here comes the Lapras, and I am just going to go straight into the Lapras here. I want to get as much chip damage onto that as I possibly can. The Rotom will die to a Wicked Blow when Urshifu comes in, so I want to rip through this Lapras right now. I'm pretty sure he's going to max, and it's not going to do too much damage for me. But Rotom's also -2 right now, and it's not a threat. Because this is the last turn of room. So last turn of room I hit the Lapras low. He probably gets his Veil up into the Dusclops, I'd imagine. But then I bring in Urshifu. Urshifu kills the Rotom. Lapras probably Life Orb attacks into Urshifu. Urshifu lives on Sash. Like, I should theoretically be fine. But it's definitely a big turn for my opponent to think here. He could protect off this last turn of Trick Room as well, which would be a very good play on his end. But they are going to go for the max. And if you're maxing, you're definitely not clicking Max Guard right now. And if it's the Rotom by any chance, which it shouldn't be, it definitely should not be the Rotom. Yeah, okay. If it's the Rotom by any chance, it should not be. But if it was, I'd be a little bit in a better position. But it is this Lapras right now. We're not going to see a Max Guard here. I don't think Rotom protects either. Rotom probably just drops an Overheat again to kill. Rotom has Ally Switch. Fun fact, guys, everything has Ally Switch. Okay, this is really annoying now. If nothing else, though, we do get rid of the Rotom. Everything has Ally Switch, apparently. Okay, so Rotom does drop, which is not the worst case in the world, because we do still have Dusclops. The scary part, though, is Lapras is actually a threat. Like, I'm not doing a very good job of checking this Lapras, even though I was trying to check the Lapras. So, Clef had Ally Switch, Rotom had Ally Switch, Max Guys are coming out. That should drop my horse. Yeah, that will drop my horse. It is a Life Orb Lapras here. But the good news is, he didn't get the Veil up. Which is something, I guess, that's good for me. I don't know how to word this. Like, I want to say that's really solid for me because the CC is going to rip through this thing. It's not going to kill it, but it's going to do a big chunk of damage here. I'm going to keep Rotom for late game. And we're going to see what he wants to bring in here. It's going to be the Rillaboom, I believe. Yeah, okay. So, if nothing else, I do know a little bit of a few Japanese Pokemon, I should say. But that's fine. And we're going to get the Grassy Surge up, which isn't the end of the world here. I wish I had Helping Hand on my Clops. Like, I really do. But the thing is, once I kill Lapras, this game is actually over. So, the problem is, he gets the Resonance up. So, I'm going to Nightshade, I'm going to Protect because I don't want to die here to the Fake Out Resonance. So, we have to protect our Urshifu, which is a little annoying, to be completely honest. Although I can technically still play around this because I could actually pivot out Urshifu next turn. And maybe I should have pivoted Rotom in right here, because Rotom would have eaten this very well. Probably would have taken the same amount of damage as this Urshifu here, but this is fine. I do get a little bit of chip damage off with the Nightshade, but I am slightly concerned about stacking Rotom, because I don't know how well I like the Rillaboom Urshifu endgame, because that's not doing a whole lot of damage. So, little bit of HP back, but I do need to pivot out Urshifu here. I cannot leave it in. Like, if I leave it in to die, it's not worth it. The question is, what do I want to do with the Clops? I almost want a Pain Split. The problem is, if I Pain Split... Actually, I'm going to Pain Split the Lapras anyways. It has enough HP at that point. But I was going to say, the problem is with Pain Split is if I don't take damage here, I potentially lose damage. And, like, I lose health on my Dusclops. But I think the Lapras is at a high enough point, even if they don't attack me, that I'm going to be getting HP back regardless. So we'll see how that works out. And we are going to see just a Grassy Glide here. Going to go straight into this Rotom on the switch in. Rotom actually takes fairly well, of course, because it is a grass type. But Geyser, I'm assuming into Urshifu. Yeah. So the Rotom is going to drop here, which is super unfortunate. And I don't necessarily love this endgame, because Nightshade actually would have done a little bit more damage to this Lapras, I think. But he does take Life Orb Chip. And we do get a Pain Split off. Is he going to lose health? That's the question. Literally nothing. I think we might have actually had the exact same amount of HP. So Nightshade was definitely the correct play, I should say. And here's the problem. Okay, I guess I just CC the Lapras. I was going to say I could protect Urshifu here, but if he calls that and kills the Clops, that's not great. So I double the Lapras here. I don't know if CC kills through the Veil, but we're going to try it and find out. Because a CC plus a Nightshade will definitely kill through the Veil. We're just going to see the Grassy Glide. This is not going to be enough to pick up Urshifu, because Urshifu is a beast. We do get the CC off into the Lapras. It is going to be enough, and I think knocking out the Lapras there, that should win us the game here. Like, that should seal it, because now this Nightshade goes into Rillaboom, and we should be alright. So definitely misplayed a bit, probably maxed a little bit too early, got burnt by the Will-O-Wisp there, but proves, this just shows Ally Switch. That's the one thing that you have to notice with Ally Switch, right? He went for Ally Switch twice, but he didn't really gain positioning. Yes, the burn sucked, right, to be honest, for lack of a better adjective, but I am going to detect here just to see if I can stall a terrain for an extra turn. But, like, the thing is, he was ally switching, but he wasn't doing damage with that slot. So it was basically a 2v1. He's actually going to protect the Rillaboom here, which, I mean, is questionable. Maybe trying to get a little bit of HP back, which is respectable. I can't complain, but I don't see the reason to. Because now I'm at a spot where I could technically go for the double protect and get rid of his grassy terrain, which would allow me to get a Wicked Blow off. I mean, I guess I was in that spot anyways, whether he protected or not, and he didn't take damage there, so maybe it was the right play. But yeah, one more turn to terrain. I am going to Sucker Punch though. Just a Sucker Punch Nightshade should be good. And I apologize if you guys can hear my phone, but I did forget to turn it off. Let me throw it on my bed over there so you guys don't have to hear it. Sucker Punch coming out. Gonna be a Grassy Glide, I'm assuming, to pick off my Urshifu. And at this point, Grassy Terrain is gonna be gone after this turn, meaning he has no recovery. So it's just gonna be a matter of how much damage Nightshade can do before he can do big damage to me. And it looks like I should be able to take it. Unless he has knockoff, I should be able to take this game. Aurora Veil's gone, of course, which is very nice, and the grass is gone as well. So everything kind of wrapping up fairly nicely here as I do go for another Nightshade. There's no point in Pain Splitting, I'm just going to give him health back. And Grassy Glide, I guess I could Trick Room, but as you see there, the Grassy Glide is doing next to nothing on my Dusclops, and I believe it's in range of 2 Nightshades. Yeah, it should be in range of 2 Nightshades. So with that, we are going to take this one, but the problem with Ally Switch is that, yeah, he's going to Wood Hammer. I think he had to go for that. And if he had knockoff, it would have gone knockoff into Wood Hammer. It would have been a really close finish. But he clearly did not have knockoff, so Dusclops going to be able to eat that. And we're just going to drop this Rillaboom for the game. But the thing with Ally Switch is, yes, you're not hitting the target you want to. And it can be used optimally, right? Like, you can Ally Switch and then all of a sudden you have a big threat on the field, right? But my opponent Ally Switched to get a Will-O-Wisp off, and he Ally Switched to get an attack off with Lapras that he was getting off with Lapras anyways. So those 2 turns he Ally Switched I don't think were very optimal for him. Like, yes, he caught me with them, but at the end of the day, he didn't gain positioning from the Ally Switches. Like, sure, he got the Will-O-Wisp off, but he was getting the Will-O-Wisp off anyways. And I actually am going to disconnect from the server, so if nothing else, at least it's a good time to disconnect here. We are going to jump into another one. I might even cut that out there on the disconnect there, but if it doesn't take too long to get back up, I probably won't. So, and I'm also ranting about ally switch. Like, the thing is, you know, he didn't gain any positioning, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, does that make, I hope that makes sense. Because, like, in my brain, it makes sense to me where it's like, you know, they ally switched, yes, but they ally switched to just get attacks off that they were going to get off with or without the ally switch anyways. So they wasted a move slot they wasted a turn using a move that was suboptimal that turn. Like, I get it if you need to keep your Dynamax Lapras alive. I respect it, you know? Is it annoying and it's frustrating? Yes. But I do somewhat respect when it's used optimally. But when you just walk in and you click ally switch because you click ally switch, which I feel like what my opponent was doing there, is very questionable to me. But we're going to jump back into another one here, guys. And we're going to forget about ally switch. And I really do want to try and force Naganadel into this game. But of course, I'm not going to put it in a game where it doesn't belong, right? So, also, guys, if you guys want to let me know if you feel like I should be doing 3 episodes. So, technically the team builder episode of Trash or Treasure with Naganadel, where I go and Showdown and I talk about the sets. And then I go with 2 episodes like this where it's just battles. Or if I should just stick with the 1 episode like this where it's just battles. If you guys could let me know what you prefer, that would be great. But right now we got a Weezing, and it's actually the Weezing that's actually bad for Naganadel, believe it or not. Because the other Weezing, Naganadel actually slabs versus Regigigas if it's the normal Weezing. Like the Kanto Weezing, Naganadel looking fire. But the problem now is actually I still think Naganadel's pretty good. It's just a little annoying because I can't just kill the Weezing straight up, but I am still going to go Naganadel here. Naganadel Dusclops seems really, really solid because I get a Wormwood. Clops is able to get a Trick Room up if they decide to go for a strike. And if they go for a strike and kill Naganadel, I get Glacier into Trick Room mode. And I like Rotom versus Sun, but the problem with these 3 that I have, they can't beat, they cannot beat the Regirock. And if I bring Rotom, that's just another mon that loses to Regirock. So I do really like Tapu Fini here. But the problem, I don't think he's going to go Sun. So I'm going to go with this. Tapu Fini is strictly for the Regirock, guys. It is a very interesting Regigigas team for my opponent. Like, I don't think I've ever seen something quite like this before with the Regirock and the Regigigas. And the Kanto, and the Galarian Weezing. So it is a little interesting. But I feel like Naganadel can still put in some work here. Yeah, he's going to go Regigigas Weezing. I mean, that's what they do, and it's shiny with both of them. I mean, the shiny Regigigas I respect. The shiny Weezing, I don't like Weezing to begin with, and shiny Weezing just looks worse. So, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, hey, if you like shiny Weezing, to each their own, I'm not going to stop you. But, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of it. So, normally what I would do here is I would Wormwind and kill the regular Weezing. Like the Kanto Weezing, but I can't do that here. Because, obviously, Weezing is Weezing, and it's got a Fairy type attached to it. So I am just going to Wormwind and drop and hit the Regigigas here. And I am going to... Do I want a Room? That's my question, is if I want a Room or not. And I think I definitely do want a Trick Room. Just because if I can get the Wormwind off and get the Trick Room up, I can come in with Horse afterwards and click CC. And Close Combat after a Wormwind should be enough, I think. There's also a chance he doesn't kill Naganadel at -1, but I mean, he's gonna go into, if he goes into Naganadel, Naganadel die. So basically what I need, my best chance of surviving with Naganadel is if he targets Dusclops. I'm assuming, there's the max. I was gonna say, I'm assuming he's gonna, if he ally switches, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna straight up cry, right now. I'll cry on camera if this man clicks ally switch, because everything has ally switch apparently, and I don't like that. This kind of concerns me. I really don't think he's going to go ally switch, but I guess Weezing doesn't really have a better move to go for. Okay, good. No ally switch there, but I wasn't going to call that. They don't normally carry it on these kinds of Weezings, and we do get actually almost 50% damage to that Regigigas there, which is really, really solid. But the attack drop is more so what I'm looking for here, just to try and keep Dusclops alive. You know what? He's going to taunt me. I'm not the smartest. He's going to taunt me. But Max Quake coming out, and at -1, Naganadel might survive. Naganadel does survive, and if he taunts me, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not terrible because I did get the Wormwind off, and I am going to get another Wormwind off. So, probably should have seen the taunt coming. This is my bad. I had a... Wait, he taunted the Naganadel? Was he predicting an ally switch for no reason there? That seems very odd to me. That seems very, very odd to me. See, the problem now is, though, that actually almost works out for him. Because now Regigigas gets the free kill into Naganadel. And I don't think I have a switch in for the Quake, so I just let Naganadel die if he chooses to target it, which he probably... Actually, I'm going to guard. Give myself an... I'm taunted. Never mind, I can't guard. I'm going to Whirlwind Nagigas here. And I am just going to Nightshade this Weezing. Obviously, I can't Nightshade Nagigas, otherwise I would. And I'm expecting just to get Quaked here. Dusclops Nightshade, a little bit of chip damage into the Weezing, which, I mean, I can never complain about. Like, that's actually pretty decent. Weezing's going to taunt. It's going to fail, so once again, maybe calling an ally switch. And my opponent must be realizing ally switch is on everything. I, of course, am not going to click ally switch. I don't have it, so I can't click it. But my opponent maybe second-guessing things, maybe looking into things a little bit too much there. And on Clops, I can kind of see it. But I think you just make the straightforward play there of taunting Clops on turn 1. Like, I don't see why you immediately go straight for the ally switch, why that's your first instinct. But we're going to get Glacier in now. And Glacier is not going to die to anything Regigigas goes for right now. So I am going to double this Weezing with a Nightshade high horsepower. Should pick it off. Then we get Slow Start activated and we should be perfectly fine. If he decides to go for a Protect, it's not the end of the world because I'm still not dying since he's -1. So it's not great if he protects, but if he doesn't protect, it's phenomenal. Let's see what they decide to go for here. I feel like they try to get the Will-O-Wisp off, is what I would assume they try for. No, that's a very good protect on my opponent's end there. So I mean, it's not the end of the world for me by any means because like you still don't kill me here. So I'm not really concerned about it. It's a little annoying, yes, but it's not the end of the world. You're actually going to Steel Spike, so that's a really good play there. But they Steel Spike the Clops, not wanting to target my horse, which is interesting. And I mean, now Weezing probably survives. So what I'm actually going to do... But do I want to kill the Gigas? Is it worth killing the Gigas? This is the question I have, because 1, I don't know if Weezing survives. 2, we don't know Weezing's item. Like... Actually, you know what? You know what I am going to do? I'm going to Haze and Heavy Slam. Because it's not going to be Babiri Weezing. So, I'm going to Haze to get rid of his boost. But I do negate the -1. Which is a little concerning for me. I think Nightshade Heavy Slam kills the Weezing. So that's what we're going to go for. I was going to Haze. But I don't want to get rid of his -1 here. Nightshade coming off. Don't be Citrus Berry, please. If you're Citrus Berry, I'll be very mad. Should have had that. I mean, I always have to respect the Shuka, right? But we do get a Glacier with the Heavy Slam off here. Would Hazing have worked? Hazing would have definitely killed the Weezing here, I believe, because it would have got rid of the defense boost. And now he's going to taunt my Dusclops, and now we've left Gigas on the field. And all in all, it's just a bad turn here, as he Iron Heads the Dusclops, but it's not going to kill me, so... He's actually almost doing more damage to himself, which is kind of interesting. I am going to CC the Gigas. And just Nightshade this Weezing on the last turn of Trick Room here. Unless, is this confirmed the last turn? Yeah, I wonder if, I guess he double protects, but that doesn't help him. So, well, never mind, I'm Nightshading a Regigigas because I'm bad. So, don't do what I'm doing here, guys. This is called choking under pressure. But I mean, we're still not in the end of the world because it should be a double protect. And Weezing protected anyway, so Nightshading into Gigas isn't the worst thing in the world. He's actually going to go and let Regigigas die here. So close combat coming out. Gonna pick off this Gigas and give me a boost. So I get a nice little chilling day. Of course, Clops cannot get Trick Room back up. But we are gonna have to see what his last mon is. I'm assuming the way he left Glacier alone, Regirock will be one of those two. One of those back 2 mons. And I'm assuming if you have it, you bring it in here. Unless you've got something else that I forgot about in Team Preview. But there we go. There's the Regirock coming onto field. Chocolate Rock. And shout out to Big Slim for that one. Love that nickname. Anyways, so... at this point, I just Nightshade off the Weezing. And I am really tempted to stay in with Glacier here and just click CC into this rock. Like, I don't want to really risk... I don't want to risk the fact that I lose Glacier here, so I actually can't take it as much as I'd love to and just risk the whole loss here. And I'm actually going to Nightshade into the Regirock. I want to leave this Weezing on the field. It's not a threat to kill me right now. He may try to burn my Glacier. I don't know what Weezing wants to do here, but if I can get chip damage onto the rock, yeah, Weezing just leaves. It's not a threat. It's not a threat right now. I'm assuming you're going to see a Rock Slide. Yep. And Dusclops is actually going to dodge, which is very nice because it means we're not going to flinch now. So Finny, of course, taking a little bit of damage, more so than I would have liked. But Nightshade coming off here into this Regirock now, which is very, very nice. And now it's Muddy Water time. Muddy Water, please be good for once. That's all I ask, is for Muddy Water to be good. And I am just going to Nightshade. I have to Nightshade into the Regirock. It's the only move I can go for. I am still taunted here. And ideally, the way this turn plays out is Muddy Water picks off both. But Muddy Water is actually going to miss the Weezing, and that one might matter. That one might just matter because now Regirock is going to get a policy here. Regirock is going to get the policy here, and the problem with that, I guess I could have Moonblasted first. Weezing is going to click Sludge Bomb. Finny, please live. Okay, Finny's alive, which may allow Dusclops to live. I was concerned that the Sludge Bomb would kill Finny, and then Dusclops wouldn't live a Rock Slide at +2. But Dusclops is actually going to dodge the attack again, so very nimble Dusclops that we've got right here. Finny, of course, going to drop to the +2 Rock Slide, but I guess this is still concerning, as the Nightshade does pick off the Regirock, but we have to see what my opponent's last mon is. If it's Torkoal or Venusaur, I should be alright. It will be a little annoying if it's the Torkoal, but AV Glacier, getting a high horsepower into the Torkoal before it gets an attack off is very, very nice, and Venusaur needing to put things to sleep to actually do much is also fine here, so saving Glacier may pay dividends here, and what are we going to see? We're going to see Porygon 2. In fact, I like this endgame. The one thing I don't like about this endgame is the Weezing that's still on the field here. I really want to get the kill into the Weezing with a Heavy Slam here, and I believe the taunt has worn off, right? I believe the taunt on my Clops is gone. It is. So with this, if he wants to protect Weezing, that's fine. I'm actually going to Pain Split the Porygon 2. Heavy Slam will give me the boost and go into Weezing. Yeah, Weezing's just going to Sludge Bomb here. They're going to go after Glacier. I think they have to get after Glacier. They do get the crit. Poison as well. No poison. Okay, so that's nice. Tri-Attack coming out. Tri-Attack connects into the Glacier. Glacier, of course, going to take, because Glacier is an absolute beast. Glacier going for Heavy Slam into this Weezing. Weezing's going to drop. And at this point, I click Trick Room next turn. Close Combat Trick Room. If they recover to live the Close Combat, they're going to get the download boost. Don't be Special Attack, please. It's going to be Special Attack, of course. I mean, that was very obvious. But we do get a Frisk. We do find the Eviolite. Not that it mattered. I think we all knew that the Eviolite was there. But it's fine. Dusclops going to get the nice little Pain Split off onto the Porygon. And heal us up quite a bit, actually. And actually does do a little bit more than I was expecting to the Porygon. But I just go for CC Trick Room now. And there's not much they can do about it. Because right now they're attacking first, right? So if they recover, CC then brings them down to about below 50%. And that takes the game next turn because Glacier will be moving first. If they don't recover, CC takes, which is the exact same concept. They're basically forced into recovering and hoping CC doesn't do over 50%. But we do see for the Tri-Attack, and I guess this is another way to win the game, if they were to get something here. But they do not get any sort of crit or freeze or burn or anything from that Tri-Attack. And we do manage to pick up that Porygon 2, so this episode actually became way longer than I thought, guys. I'm going to be honest. I did not think we were at the 28-minute mark yet, but I was kind of hoping to get a third one in. But with 28 minutes, guys, I'm not going to force a third one in here. I like keeping these episodes around a half an hour long. So with that, guys, Naganadel going 2-0. I know we didn't get to utilize Naganadel. It did actually put in work versus this Gigas though, which was pretty nice to see. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a third one with Naganadel or not. And if I don't, right now I'm kind of liking Naganadel. I don't want to know if I necessarily want to call it treasure, but I definitely think it is being underused. It's definitely not trash. Let me phrase it this way. It's 100% not trash. I don't know if I have enough to actually make a decision on it yet, but I'm definitely leaning towards treasure. Like, it's definitely usable. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's 100% usable, and I think if you have the right team for it, like, it can really steamroll some teams. But with that, guys, I'm going to get out of here, and after all this, I still don't have an outro, but I'm going to try to make an outro. You know, that's my New Year's resolution. That's going to be my New Year's resolution. What am I most excited for is creating an outro. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.